Today we're going to quickly review horizontal and vertical lines and then just touch on the things that we learned yesterday. So let's start with number 14. Number 14, it says x plus 5 equals 6. Do you notice that there's no y anywhere in that equation?
Yeah. Yes.
So we'd subtract 5 on both sides and get x equals 1. If you have x equals something, like right up here, it is a vertical line through the point C, 0. Remember VUX. Vertical lines have undefined slope and their equations are x equals a number. So find 1 on the x-axis and you're going to draw a vertical line through that point. So I'm going to put my fancy ruler up there. Draw a nice straight line. Vertical lines have an x-intercept. This one has an x-intercept at 1, 0. There is no y-intercept because that line is parallel to the y-axis. It will never touch, never cross the y-axis, so there is no y-intercept. Next, let's look at number 16. Notice this one says y equals with no number. That is a horizontal line. If there's a y equals with no x, it is a horizontal line. Remember, hoi.
Bless you.
Horizontal lines have a slope of 0 and the equation is y equals something. So in number 16, find 2 on your y-axis. And you're going to want a horizontal line through that. Horizontal lines have no x-intercept. They are parallel to the x-axis, so they don't cross it. The y-intercept for this particular graph is 0, 2. The other two examples today are reviewing graphing with slope-intercept form and graphing with standard form. So number 13, we can do this really fast. The y-intercept is -1. Remember, that's where you cross the y-axis. So make sure you're putting the dot on the y-axis, 1 down from the origin. Your slope is -3. That means down 3, right 1, or up 3, left 1. You want to make sure that you are only using the negative once. So moving down uses the negative. Make sure you move to the right after that. Going up does not use the negative, so left uses the negative. You can only use the negative once. So down 3, right 1. And then draw in with a nice straight edge. Number 15 is standard form. 6x plus 8y equals -24. Now, you could, if you wanted to, get y by itself. You'd have to subtract 6x on both sides, and then you'd have to divide by 8. That seems like a lot of work, considering that once you've done that, you still have to graph the y-intercept and then use the slope to get more points. Mainly, there's a lot of opportunity for error if you're doing all of that work. So knowing how to graph from standard form is important. For standard form, you're basically plugging 0 into one of the letters at a time. But if we plug 0 into y, that's going to make this term go away. So to get the x-intercept, you basically cover up the y, and you have 6x equals negative 24. So what does x equal? Negative 4. We're going to cross the x-axis at negative 4. Once you're done finding the x-intercept, now you want to find the y-intercept. So I'm going to erase that and cover up x. We have 8y equals negative 24. So y is negative 3. What you're really doing is you're plugging in 0 for the other letter. But if you think of it as cover up my y, see what I've got, solve it, cover up my x, see what I've got, solve it, it can help you get that really fast. Once you have both of those points, then you can connect them, preferably with a nice straight line, which I did not do, but you can ignore that. Any questions about horizontal, vertical, slope-intercept form, standard form? Okay.